The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 461 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
So I show up in the first day for camera testing prior to production, and I'm standing there in front of Darth Vader.
So there was you, and then Carrie Fisher.
Do you guys have like mandated bathroom breaks as stormtroopers?
We don't, but...
I don't care how undead you are. You're not getting up that easy.
How was it like working with Grogu?
That thing is alive.
Have you ever played like the Warren Proulx drinking game? There I am, take a drink. There I am, take a drink.
Are you ready?
Welcome to Neverland.
Here we go.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets love.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
You use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Could you imagine what it would be like to be in a Star Wars show? Or 2? Or 3? Or 4? I'm not sure how one could handle that much galactic excitement. However, we're gonna know soon enough. But first, we want to welcome you back to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, whose hair is working for her today. You were flipping your hair earlier?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty fun. That's because I just washed it, and yay, it's all pretty now.
It is.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Aw.
we should have rolled camera before we started recording because you were over in the corners flipping,
I was
swinging,
making
like
sure
you were in
everything
an
looked
80s
good.
music video.
You gotta fluff it up. I don't know. That's how my hair works anyway. All right, Skywalkers. Well, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So it's time for your weekly Wookiee hug and a little sprinkle of pixie dust. For our family of Skywalkers, we are so grateful that you tune in every week. You comment, you like, you share. You guys are amazing. Also, we are live on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel right now. So if you haven't already, please head to YouTube, search for Skywalking Through Neverland, click subscribe, and then the little bell for notifications for when we go live. Because sometimes we go live and it's a surprise.
It's a surprise to us.
Yes.
You know, every week we ask the Skywalkers to get us to a certain level with our subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And every week the Skywalkers succeed in their mission. They go over what we ask for.
Yeah, this week we got even more. What, like 10 more than we asked for?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah. Last time we had asked everyone to get us to 8850.
Okay.
It's now at 8854.
Woohoo! That's
So,
exciting.
All right, what do you think? Every week we ask everyone for 5 more. What do you say this week? We ask them for 6 more
6 more.
to get us to 8860.
8,860. I like it. I like it, Skywalkers.
Well, you know, with 2 shows this week. What?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get there. What? Did he just say 2 shows this week?
2 shows. Yeah, this week is going to be very exciting.
All right,
Woo.
well, you know what? Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
And tell everyone what is coming up on this episode.
All right, in this episode, we talk with Warren Proulx, and he has appeared in The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Ahsoka. And he's going to share some behind-the-scenes stories and what it was like to share screen time with little Grogu.
See,
I'm so excited.
I wouldn't be able to handle myself.
Yeah, I know.
Too much excitement.
Oh, totally. Now, Warren will be joining the Virtual Cantina tour that Spencer Jowitz has been putting together for this summer. You can meet him at the Scum and Villainy Cantina stop on July 29th, right here in Hollywood.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
And What will we be doing there?
You ask?
Well, we're gonna be selling Today in Star Wars history. We're gonna have a booth over there at Scum Villainy, and you can come and get your copies. We mailed off like 3 or 4 sets this last week.
Yeah. So thank you, Skywalkers. You guys have been getting them for gifts for like friends for the month of May, right? It's a very exciting month, and yeah, so we're super excited about that.
Very much so. All right. Also, we are excited that this episode is being sponsored by Small World Vacations. And they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world or on a Disney cruise. And best of all, this service is free of charge. So head over there to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now we are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on April 29th, 2024. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
On this date, 44 years ago, before your time, on April the 29th, 1980, John Williams debuts as conductor of the Boston Pops at a Symphony Hall performance. R2-D2 and C-3PO, who was played by Anthony Daniels, he was in the suit. They make guest appearances and conduct the main title from Star Wars. Then, John Williams conducts 2 new, never-heard-before themes from the Empire Strikes Back soundtrack.
What? Which ones?
Yoda's theme and the Imperial March.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine like the Imperial March especially?
I recall Yoda's theme I was into I was 11 years old at this time, so I was into that.
Did you go to this performance?
No.
Oh.
I was watching this show live.
Oh.
On PBS.
Oh, well, I'm so glad they had that.
And this was just a couple of miles away from me.
Yeah.
Here I am, an 11-year-old in Newton, and R2 and 3PO and John Williams are just a stone's throw away, a couple of miles away in Boston.
Oh my God.
Yes. So they played Yoda's theme, which I liked.
Yeah.
But then came the Imperial March. Oh my! It was a second coming of Star Wars music.
I bet.
This was something like I've never heard ever in my life. It just that march music, and knowing that this was a new Imperial March in Star Wars, we just got that little dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
But now,
dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Now we got a whole big march, and it made the hair in the back of my neck stand up. I recall sitting on my bunk bed, because we all had bunk beds in the 70s and 80s, and I remember having chills when I heard this music.
I bet.
Yeah. A friend of mine, Jimmy, whose last name shall be nameless to protect the guilty, the next day in school, he said, "Rich, guess where I went last night? I went to go see R2 and 3PO and John Williams at the Boston Pops." I was furious for decades until it wasn't too long ago where he told me I was lying about that.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to impress you. Like for years.
Seriously?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had him in a mental timeout.
Yeah.
because he went and didn't invite me.
Yeah.
But as it goes now, he wasn't there. He just watched it like me.
Wow.
Yeah. So once again, 44 years ago tonight, history was made when the world heard for the first time the Imperial March. Ooh, and Yoda's theme too.
Wow. Well, I'm very jealous that you had this musical moment before I was even born.
I was watching it on my little black and white Zenith on my bunk bed. I was thinking of you.
I'm sure you were.
The midichlorians were tingling.
I love it. Aw.
All right, now with that, let's speak with Warren Proulx about stormtroopers, night troopers, space pirates, and playing that strange old hermit that lived in the Dune Sea.
Some actors would just be happy to work on one Star Wars project, playing one character. Imagine working on 4 Star Wars shows and playing numerous characters.
Well, Warren Proulx worked on The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, and The Wedding Singer. One of those is not a Star Wars show, but it does have a Star Wars connection. Hey, Warren!
Hello there. How are you?
Oh, he even does the hello there.
Yeah, we love it. You look like Obi-Wan, and now you're doing hello there. We love it.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a shtick.
Now, do you know the Star Wars connection with the wedding singer?
Besides me?
You're number one, and who would be right below you?
Who was in Wedding Singer?
It's behind the scenes of The Wedding Singer.
Oh, Frank Karachi directed it.
Who
know.
Who was the script doctor on The Wedding Singer?
Joby? I don't know.
Carrie Fisher! Carrie Fisher was the script doctor on The Wedding Singer. Yeah, she...
I know that.
Yeah, they brought her in to beef up Drew Barrymore's character.
No way!
Yeah, they wanted her to be very, very powerful female character.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have Princess Leia helping Gertie.
I love it.
When Star Wars and E.T. mashes once again. So yeah, there was you and then Carrie Fisher. There's your two Star Wars connections for The Wedding Singer. And in The Wedding Singer, while we're here, you were one of the groomsmen for Adam Sandler, right?
Yeah, when the initial wedding, the one that starts in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Basically, I'm in there, during the credits.
Nice.
Yeah, he's the one with the lightsaber.
They let me do that.
All right, now let's talk more Star Wars. Now, are you like previous Star Wars actors we've talked to in the past, where they had no idea they were hired for a Star Wars show?
Yeah,
yeah,
pretty much how it goes.
Oh my gosh!
So now, what was the process?
Yeah.
So the first time it was, they were looking for a fitting for stormtroopers. And so I went to a fitting, basically it was an interview to see if you even fit in the costume.
Right.
And I happened to fit the costume perfectly. So that was the first foray was doing the stormtrooper. Actually, I think I tried on the stormtrooper uniform, but then I think I was a shore trooper first.
Oh.
The stormtrooper. And then I was a what are they called? Shydot pirate.
Right.
We were trying to blow up the juggernaut at the with that stuff in it that's going to blow up. I had a spear. I don't know what I was going to do with the spear, but everyone else had bombs.
Yeah, this is when Din Djarin and Miggs Mayfield is racing toward that Imperial base, and they get attacked by the pirates.
Ugh.
So now, going back to where you were trying on the Stormtrooper outfit for the interviews, at what point, how many, did you have a callback, or at what point did you know it was a Stormtrooper?
Okay, well, first of all, they don't call it a Stormtrooper. They have all these, each production had their own name for a Stormtrooper.
Oh,
You know,
like what?
Well, I don't want to give them away, but it was like they would find something white, and then they would kind of.
Yeah, so you were like the eggshell trooper.
Right. So once you show up, you know what you're doing.
Right. You see, like, the costume there.
Right. And it was that was Mandalorian season 2. From there, I just kind of got in a group that we fit all the costumes, were easy to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So is that how you ended up playing like multiple characters in the Galaxy Far, Far Away?
That's how I ended up doing being a Tusken Raider on Boba Fett.
Oh.
It was because I was a stormtrooper on Mando. But while I was working on Book of Boba Fett by the end, I had someone call me up and say, "Hey, can you grow a beard? Because I look like you normally, or I used to look like you normally." And so I said, "Can I? Either one."
Cleanly shaven.
So she said it was a casting director that I'd worked with before, and she said, "Hey, can you grow a beard?" I'm like, "Of course I can. How hard is it to grow a beard? I don't know what it was going to look like. It could have been like that. I don't know." I'm like, "Sure, I could grow a beard." Okay, well, she's like, "You're gonna want to do this," and she wouldn't tell me what it was until I showed up, and that was Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh.
So I show up in the first day for camera testing prior to production, and I'm standing there in front of Darth Vader with our lightsabers crossed. I mean,
wow.
How did you contain yourself?
I know.
Here you are facing Darth Vader. What?
It was Demetrius who was the photo double. But I mean, he's like 7 feet tall. So I'm looking at, this 7 foot tall. I'm looking Darth Vader in the face, and I can in his mask, I can see the lights kind of like, moving over his eyes, the lightsaber lights, because that's what they're testing. But yeah, no, it was amazing.
So you were Ewan McGregor's stand-in for this, correct?
I was a stand-in, photo double, and second unit stunt double.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
My gosh.
You know what? Let's touch on this Darth Vader bit.
Okay.
Because at this point, this was like a couple of years ago. The series came out in 2022. So you must have shot this like what, around
2021.
So you had to keep this secret held in, because at this point, we all thought that Vader and Obi-Wan didn't meet up until Star Wars. They met on Mustafar and Revenge of the Sith, and we all thought that they didn't meet again until A New Hope. But now you knew the inside secret. Like, no.
I did know the secret.
Oh my
Not
goodness.
only did they fight once, they fought twice.
So,
how do you contain that?
I can't even form the words. That's how excited I would be.
I mean, I'm a fan. I'm not like a super fan that, I know all of the extended universe and all that kind of stuff. But, when you're working on something, you're working on it. I mean, yeah, it's cool. You get to wear a Jedi robe or whatever, or ride a camel that turns into an Eopie. But it's, you get over that part. I mean, I got over that part faster.
But it is a job at the end of the day, and you want to keep that job, I guess.
Yeah, see, you got to keep your composure. You got to keep your composure.
Like a 10 or 12 hour job.
And being in a stormtrooper outfit for even 20 minutes, like, okay, I'm out.
Oh, there were some times, let me tell you.
Do you guys have like mandated bathroom breaks as stormtroopers?
We don't, but stormtroopers, the costume is actually okay to go number one.
Okay.
Because you can unhook the cod piece from the butt plate.
Oh.
I don't know if these are what they're called, but cod piece from the butt plate.
It's now canon.
You're wearing a like a wetsuit kind of thing underneath it, and it zips from the bottom too. Like you can zip it, but then zip it from the bottom. So you can do that without much trouble. Anything more than that, and you've got to have everybody, the costumers, come and take everything off, and it's a whole thing.
So for
That's
breakfast,
why I hardly eat.
Yeah, for breakfast, no bran. Samuel L. Jackson always said before episode 1, before he was cast, he said, "George, I want to be a stormtrooper. I don't care what you do with me. I want to be a stormtrooper." And then Daniel Craig got to play a First Order stormtrooper in The Force Awakens. Did you always have a dream of playing a stormtrooper?
I mean, who doesn't? I was a kid growing up with the original trilogy.
Were you a big fan of Star Wars growing up?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was a big fan. I have my Darth Vader case that holds all my little dudes, and I've got a bunch of those. Yes, I enjoyed it very much. The prequels came out. I was older then.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've come to appreciate the prequels.
Yeah.
There's it wasn't my Star Wars, but whatever. And then the couple sequels, or one sequel came out, but then, so I wasn't that, I was like, oh, okay, Star Wars, whatever. But then Mandalorian came out.
Ah.
And I watched that, and I'm like, okay, that's the Star Wars I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then that got excited. That got exciting. So then when I found out I was on Mandalorian, I'm like, okay, this is great, because this is going to be, and they're using a ton of practical effects, and it's great.
Oh yeah, having Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni at the helm,
right.
They want to make sure that this feels like their Star Wars. And that's what you're walking into.
Exactly.
Yeah. As a kid, I always wanted to play a stormtrooper because they're always falling. They're always getting knocked off of things. As a kid, I love to fall.
Yeah, well, the night troopers are the only stormtroopers that we've ever had to stand up on camera.
Oh my gosh, that must have been hard.
Yeah.
We had like a 4-hour rehearsal on how to get up in these things. You can't use your gun to push yourself up or anything like that. So you have to figure out a way.
When we saw Rogue One and we saw a stormtrooper sitting down in that jail, rolling jail cell, he was sitting down. Everyone in the audience started laughing because no, they can't sit. I've worn a stormtrooper. I was part of the 501st, and I've worn those outfits. You can't walk, you can't see, you can't do anything.
No. Especially the hip plate, the hip joints, just they don't move.
Yeah.
The knees move, but the hips, you can't go forward.
So like, how did you get up off the ground? Was it a lot of core work?
It was a lot of core work. It was, you just had to maneuver yourself into a position where you could push yourself up. It also helped if you spread your legs out and kind of put yourself up a little bit.
Oh my God, we gotta like rewatch those scenes and see.
Well, I remember when we did watch those scenes and all those troopers were getting up. It's like, no, I don't care how undead you are. You're not getting up that easy. Unless
it was very difficult.
So I know all those stormtroopers had like different like leather wraps and things around them. How did that?
There you go.
You're showing a visual aid right here.
An action figure of you.
I love that.
Yeah, someone made this for me. It's great. So yeah, they each had a different type of. I think mine and somebody else's might have been the only ones with helmet on the red on the helmet.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone had their own little, each, repaired piece. All of the gold was all looking different. So everybody was a unique looking night trooper. Well, and what was cool at the end, when we wrapped, the day we wrapped, we went back to the costume area to take everything off, and the costumers had made there were 15 core ones of us, and they made the 15 of us our individual night troopers. So we had like a little, the little figure. But I had already defaced mine. I already took my stormtrooper and tried, I grabbed some of the little thread or whatever from the thing and tried to wrap it up. But this is the actual. This is the material. This was the material of the.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, what is that, like some kind of look like the polyester strips.
Something like that. I'm not a costumer. I don't know.
Now that we're on the topic of night troopers, I love these troopers because we saw them. It's like these are no ordinary stormtroopers. These are like death troopers from the novel from years and years back. Now, where in this scene can we see you, and how many days did you shoot on Ahsoka, and what scenes can we see you?
I shot a lot, a couple months on Ahsoka, I think. Wow. I was also a Peridian bandit on Ahsoka.
Oh.
The guys in the orange and
right.
A henge guard or whatever. We were the guys that were setting up that henge where the Night Sisters were doing. Okay. Oh, right, the one that Thrawn's Star Destroyer comes over.
Oh, okay.
So like on Peridia, you're
right.
a henge guard.
Yeah,
got it.
In that in Thrawn's base.
Yes. Okay.
Right. And I was also a different, Peridian bandit.
Oh wow. Oh, okay, got it. So you've been to a galaxy far, far away.
Many times.
The far, far, far away.
the galaxy beyond galaxies. So have you ever played like the Warren Proulx drinking game? There I am, take a drink. There I am, take a drink.
No, I haven't.
That sounds like a fun plan. Yeah. I
don't even think I answered your question. For the main one that you could see me is when Ezra and Sabine, they're surrounded, and then we come in. We rush in, and there's a shot of me with you can see my stuff kind of waving in the wind. So that's the first scene. Then Ahsoka comes in and saves the day or whatever. But that would be the first one. I filmed I was there for all of them. So I mean, it's just there were so many pieces that we had to do too. So we had to do the getting onto the ship, the drop ship. So we filmed running in and getting up like a little bit of stairs to get into that. So it was very difficult. Oh. So we had to climb up, and then we had to file into the drop ship, and then then there was a whole scene where we just took a whole day just to show us jumping off the drop ships on Peridia and running at them. Peridian Bandit was there was a scene where Ivanka,
Shin Hati.
Shin, where Shin comes to like, I don't know, rally the troops or whatever, and she's up on like a hill and she does this, and then we're down there and I stand up and I look at her, I'm like, oh shit. Or shoot, whatever I can say.
Blast it. Now, were you familiar with Star Wars Rebels, where you knew that was a Sabine or Ezra?
I was familiar with it. It just wasn't, something that was mine. I knew it because my kid had a Disney Infinity, and we got a couple extra. I'm like, oh, that's Zeb.
Oh man, I love Disney Infinity. Wow. Oh,
actually, it's a funny story.
Oh, okay.
So the Disney Infinity, my son had a friend, and one day his mother came up to me and said, if you grow a beard, you'd look like this little Obi-Wan, toy from Disney Infinity. She's the one that put that into the universe. That was years. That was like 2 years or a year or 2 years before any of that.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, you'd kind of look like this guy if you grew a beard.
Whoa.
No kidding.
Oh, boy, her midi-chlorians must have been tingling. Now, for Obi-Wan, you were his stand-in, you played more stormtroopers, and you learned how to ride a camel for the EOP. Was this the series where you had the most responsibilities?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I was there from, I was working the month before production, maybe a couple days a week for camera testing. Oh. And then the first week of production, they were up doing the Alderaan stuff, so I wasn't working. But then after that, it was, I was there.
You're the stand-in.
Every day.
Almost every day.
Yeah.
If Ewan's on the call sheet, so am I.
In fact, when Ewan he had a thing that he had to do, so he was gone for a week. So I asked the ADs, I'm like, I got to do something because I'm not going to be working for a week. So, and they made me a stormtrooper in one of the scenes. So I did play for both teams on Obi-Wan.
That's very nice.
Traitor!
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
Funny.
You were a spy. Now, the cinematographers and directors use stand-ins to block scenes and light the set. And some stand-ins I've worked with will relay direction to the actors. Did you do that with Ewan McGregor, or did the directors take over?
On occasion, if there was something that seemed like it was, A camera's going to be over here or whatever, or your shot's going to be B camera and A's on something, whatever. Yes, that's just, but some people, they don't necessarily need it.
Okay.
Don't want it. They'll just come up and you'll high five, and then they'll
tag in, tag out. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. And so we would also, stand-ins also run rehearsals with background. So like the scene where we'd have to, where little Leia was under the Imperial jacket, and we had to, so we had to plan that out so that no one would bump into him when he was doing that. And so I was, I had to do that. And that's what I loved doing. I loved doing some of the rehearsals.
Yeah, was there ever a point where like something changed because of, something you did as the stand-in, and they were like, "Oh, this doesn't work, so let's change it out"?
Yeah, I know it's happened, but I can't think of the time. They're like, "Oh, wait a minute. If he stands there, then we can't, move blah blah blah, whatever." So they would move you over a little bit, or move the camera, whatever they needed to do.
Were you ever a photo double for Ewan McGregor, where they just saw your hand or your foot or the back?
Yeah, I the first thing I did was I made space stew.
Oh, how fun! Did you learn that from Yoda?
I did.
Oh, root leaf,
Nice.
leaf I cook.
And then I unhooked a holster while I was stepping down so I could quickly shoot all the stormtroopers in the back.
Wow.
I was holding up the rocks.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
And I'm on an Aope off in the distance,
And so
riding
these
to
are-
find Qui-Gon.
And so these are things you can actually see in the show. That's what it means. A photo
Yes,
double.
photo double,
means
yes.
you're on
You're doubling
on
for
camera.
the
That's
actual
amazing.
actor. So when Obi-Wan is walking away on the Aope with Qui-Gon, that's you? That's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny because I didn't really think about that scene, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute, that's me. You know, it was, oh, because his hair looked a little different. I could tell
Right.
that because his hair he's just so broad. He's very broad. He's my height, but he's just a broad
Ewan?
person. Yes.
Oh.
And so I had to grow a lot of hair to kind of match the amount of hair he had.
Interesting.
Oh my goodness. Did they tell you right beside you is going to be Qui-Gon Jinn, or did they not tell you that kind of?
No, I was rehearsing for quite some time. I rehearsed how to get up and down on a camel. Like, riding a camel is easy. Getting up and down from a camel is a whole nother thing.
Okay.
Because you start off, they bend down, and you start off and you're that far off the ground. And then they stand up with their back legs. And if you don't push back, you're going over the front of them. But then they do the same thing with the front legs. And if you don't go like this, you're going over the back of them.
So I'm sure they told you this before you got on the camel. Hey, Warren, by the way, lean back.
Right. So I was rehearsing getting on a camel, and then I shot the scene, and I'm looking down at Liam Neeson with all the dots on his face to de-age him. And yeah, no, I didn't know that's what was going on that day, but that was cool. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
amazing.
And was it a one hump or a two hump camel? I'm trying to get all this visualized in my head.
I want to say it was one. Silas was his name.
Silas. Oh, this is a good trivia question.
Yeah.
What was the name of the Aope? Because in the Phantom Menace, they use like just a big mechanical contraption with a green screen on it.
This was this was an actual camel, and then there was a fake mouth that they did for when he was eating from her hand. But yeah, in general, it was just CGI'd camel.
That's so cute. Silas.
Silas, yeah.
Very nice. Aw.
All right, now going back now to the Mandalorian, I'm just always so intrigued by this when we talk to like Misty Rosas and actors who didn't know that they were on Star Wars until they walked onto the set, and it's like, wait a minute, there's a stormtrooper over there, there's a Jedi over there, a Jawa. Am I on Star Wars?
Yeah, no, actually, there was a time when we were on a break between scenes or something, and I was sitting there at Obi's patio, looking out, and I forgot that there was a Jawa behind me, that there was a stand-in Jawa, and so I turn around and I see these eyes, and I'm like, holy crap. So there are times when you really think you're there.
Oh, cool. Wow. And they look great, of course. Well, that's okay. So I have a question about that because, you're on a lot of these big Star Wars shows and sets, and there's obvious Star Wars things like this Jawa that you turn around and see. So I would love to know what kind of like daily security measures that they took with you guys, not just NDAs, but like robes or. Yes.
Every day, if we went anywhere outside of the stage, we had black robes on.
Okay.
It's funny because some paparazzi took a picture of Ross, who was Ewan's main unit stunt double. But we were downtown, and so we were walking around, but his robe was a little open more, but yeah, so we'd always have robes. You can't, they don't want to see anything anywhere.
And you also did stunts on some of these shows, right?
On Obi-Wan, a second unit stunt double. It was like a faraway shot of the transport, the Frex transport, kind of going down the road, and it's just a bumpy road, and you're not hooked in with any seatbelts or anything. I mean,
right.
It sounds a lot better than it was.
Not a big stunt.
Yeah, when people ask you, yeah, there were rocks coming everywhere. I was bumping out of the thing.
No, I almost fell out of it once. So.
Oh,
and little Vivian Lyra Blair, who weighs like 20 pounds.
Well, her stunt double was there.
Molly Miller?
Actually, you know what? That wasn't Molly. It was a different stunt double for her. Yes, Molly's awesome. I love Molly. She's great. But no, it was a second unit stunt double for her. I can't remember her name now, but yeah. So it was us on the truck going back and forth.
Right, and this is the truck where the character voiced by Zach Braff.
Now, where did you say you're from again?
Tall.
Oh, good people out in Tall. They pay their way, listen to the Empire.
Absolutely.
All those tentacles.
You might want to check these guys out.
Hop in.
I love to hate that guy.
I know, right? I'll bring it to the Imperials.
Yeah, if we didn't read it in the credits that was Zach Braff, you'd never know it was Zach Braff.
No.
And we're huge Zach Braff fans.
It was funny because he was on set.
Oh, no way.
In a little booth, and he had like a thing on his head because when he would talk, it would translate over to the mask, and the mask had these little motors in it. And so it would make the mouth go like this when he was talking.
Oh my God.
I was wondering, what is this? What is he have? Orthodontia or something? What's going on? But it was a thing to translate, his voice onto when the prop or when the
mask,
the mask is
all the servos go.
Yeah, all the servos.
I mean, they've got some that are like 30 servos in these things.
Yeah, I used to do creature special effects. It was one of my jobs to make the skin that goes over all those servos and motors. Now, I want to try to narrow down some of the parts that you were in. And in The Mandalorian, in the second season, you were in the episode The Tragedy, where you played a stormtrooper who put the little force cuffs on little Grogu.
Yeah, that little guy. I'm like, wait, we have child handcuffs? Are we the bad guys?
Yeah.
But then I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Well, you have some little aliens who are very, very tiny.
Right. But you said you got into The Mandalorian. That's what kind of reinvigorated your Star Wars fandom. So how was it like? Oh yeah, how was it like working with Grogu?
That thing is alive.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's got all the people working on it because you got one person who's just doing the eyebrows, one person that's blinking the eyes, one person that's turning the eyes, one person that's opening the mouth, one that's doing something to the ears, and then you've got the puppeteer, and so it's a ton of people. In fact, I was telling somebody this story when we were on the Frex transport, and I was saying, the thing looked alive, the eyebrows, everything, and the guy I was talking to was like, yeah, I did the eyebrows. And I'm like, you're the guy, but telling everybody now.
You know what? When I was doing special effects, that was one of my things, to do the eyebrows.
Wow.
And some people would get on them and just go boom, 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 go back and forth. So they're like going up and down, yeah, just like that. It's like, Rich. Then one of the directors said, Rich, you know the subtleties of eyebrows, don't you? I said, well, yeah, just less is more.
So Dimitri stuns him. That was Dimitri in the other stormtrooper. He stuns him. And then I walk up, and then he falls down, and I'm standing over him. I don't even think the camera's on him at this point. I'm standing over him, and I'm putting the handcuffs on, and he's moving around. I mean, his eyes are closed, but he's going like. So it looked alive. As far as I know, it was alive. And so it was great. And the first time I put the handcuffs on there, please don't touch the child. I mean, please don't touch Grogu. I'm like, okay. It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to make those kind of puppets. Those are tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, and this one's millions.
Oh, I'm sure by this point, yes, millions.
Wow.
I want everyone to know that you aren't the one who stunned Grogu, because that biker scout who was hitting Grogu in the earlier season, fans hated that guy. So we want to make sure
Hate mail.
everyone knows it wasn't you. It was not you who stunned Grogu.
Did not stun. That was Dimitri.
Yeah.
yeah. Let's get him.
You just put the handcuffs.
and his phone number is what now?
Well, it's great because we have a picture together. And we can sign one side, and I can sign the other side.
And is Grogu in the picture?
A little bit of his ear.
Aw.
Now, when you shot this, was the first season already released? So
Yes.
Okay, so the world had already gone Grogu crazy.
He didn't have a name yet.
Right.
Right. Yeah, he was Baby Yoda.
At one point, I was at the where we would do the fittings, and I saw his name up on a board. And I was like, oh man, that's his name? And so, I had to keep that secret for a while too.
Yeah. Holy cow.
So you are like a Star Wars secret pinata. One good whack, all the secrets will come right out of you. One good drink, and here comes all the secrets.
So yeah, no, I mean, yeah, there's a whole lot of things there.
Yeah, we won't ask you about the skeleton crew.
I can tell you about that if you want.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't work on it. I passed it every day. It was mostly about I can't even.
We know it's like the
kids,
Goonies
right?
version in space with the kids and the little Orderlin backstreet
people
creature.
There were little people that were the stand-ins.
Oh, okay.
So, but I was working on Ahsoka. I had already finished Boba Fett. I mean, Obi-Wan, and then they took the stage after Obi-Wan. So, so I would walk by the same stage all the time, and I'd wave to the, oh, hey, how you doing? But I never worked on it. So it's the one I didn't get to work on.
The one that got away. Okay.
All right, but let's go back to something you did work on in the Book of Boba Fett, where you played a Tusken Raider. I've always loved Tusken Raiders. I've always wanted to play a Tusken Raider. For one Halloween, I made my own Tusken Raider costume. So tell me what it's like to be a Tusken Raider.
Okay, so you know how bad it is to be in a stormtrooper uniform?
Mm-hmm.
But you can take the helmet off. Boop, boop, boop. Hey, no problem. Oh, I can breathe. The Tusken Raiders, they're like Ugg boots and flowing robes and things like that. There's just 15 of them on top of you. But the mask, they strap this mask onto your face, and then they wrap something around the neck part so you couldn't see it. And then that's all you're seeing, and this is all the breath you're getting. And it was like 100 degrees out there. It was miserable. And I hear that those masks were even better, like weren't as bad as the ones prior.
Wow.
So I can't even imagine those. We would have mask breaks. They would, get us out of the masks. We would work like 45 minutes, or we would work, whatever.
Okay.
We'd get like a 15-minute to just not have that freaking mask on our face.
Oh my goodness.
That's good.
Where were those scenes shot? I know the main stage is in Manhattan Beach.
Boba Fett actually took they took, it was during COVID a little bit, so they took not an auditorium, like a soccer stadium or something, and then they took the parking lot of the soccer stadium, and they put a bunch of containers, like ship containers around so you couldn't see into it, and then they dumped, 350 tons of sand or something in this parking lot. So that was actually where it was shot. It wasn't far away, but it was actually shot in the parking lot of some auditorium, some stadium.
Like the LA Coliseum, around that area, or more closer to Manhattan Beach?
No, it was closer to Manhattan Beach. It was in Carson, I think. It was, I don't remember where it was. Maybe, I think all of Boba Fett might have even been over there. I mean, except for the interior, like he's going to have the little lizard, eat the little lizard.
Oh, yes.
So, that was in a stage, and I was closing the door, closing the flap, or putting the flap down or whatever in the front of it, and then I go and sit behind him. But that was definitely on a stage.
Okay.
Well, because we had the fire too, so we had to make sure that everything was
right.
Right, safety meetings.
Oh yeah,
about the
always
fire.
about safety.
Yes.
So now, where else can we find you as a Tusken Raider?
There's a scene where the main, she was in the black robes. The main.
Oh, the main Tusken Raider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a scene where she's, we're looking at something, and I'm just right behind her, going like, whatever. I don't know. There's a scene where I'm digging up some black melons.
Oh, okay.
And then when I saw the scene, I saw that they had put in 2 dogs or wolves or whatever those things are. Mastiffs. They put 2 of those in there, so they weren't there when I was there, but
oh wow,
they were there afterwards. Various things. I mean, I'm upset about one of our members who have been cut down by the Pike train when we got attacked, and that was it. So there's one of those scenes too. I was also the photo double for Gwalfalaquax. You say that?
Yeah, he's the Aqualish Don
mob boss. Yeah. So I photo doubled him as we're leaving the meeting. So I'm talking and going. Burr, burr, burr.
Oh, nice. Did you have to learn any of the Tusken Raider sign language?
I didn't.
Okay.
Or maybe just a couple little things here and there, but it wasn't like a whole thing. Oh, mostly it's just, they don't like you to point.
Oh.
They don't like you in Star Wars to go. I mean, the main guys can do it, but they don't want anybody else.
Yeah, Harrison Ford can do it.
What did they tell you? Why?
It's because it looks like I don't know.
Looks too earthly.
I don't know.
Or did they have you do the Disney 2-finger point?
Right, Disney has the 2-finger point.
I just kind of went like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just waving your hand.
How interesting. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I've never noticed that.
Yeah.
But now when we go back to rewatch it, now it's going to stand out.
Yeah.
Which directors did you have the most interactions with?
Well, Deborah Chow for Obi-Wan, because we worked every day together. Robert Rodriguez was the director of the tragedy. The tragedy. Right. Jon Favreau directed even a couple episodes of Boba Fett.
Oh.
Rick. Oh, I might mess up his name.
Fumiyawa.
Yeah.
Fumiyawa.
Yes, I've done. He did an episode of when we're in Ahsoka, where we're climbing up the stairs, getting cut down, and then coming back. He was directing that episode. He directed a bunch of episodes on Mandalorian, or a couple episodes on Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's a fantastic director.
Oh yeah, he's great.
What kind of direction did they give you? Just walk there and don't fall, or did they give you like, oh, when you're over here, look at this person right over here and make sure that you're looking at them with anger and be aggressive?
There was one take of the tragedy of when we're walking in, because I actually am I'm the stormtrooper once we walk in. Going down the hall, it's actually another guy, Derek is who it was, and then he had to go with whatever. They needed to swap people up for some reason or another, lunches or so. I don't know what it was. So then when I walk in, it's me. So one of the takes, I walked in and I banged my shoulder against the door, and I just kept going. And then we shot the scene, and then I hear Robert Rodriguez. Okay, yeah, no, it's good. Let's do another take, because the stormtrooper hit himself on the. That was just like the stormtrooper that hit himself in the head.
Yeah. The headbanger Harry.
It was already established in A New Hope that we're clumsy. We can't see.
So that's why it would have been fun to see that. But
yeah,
I remember hearing that bit of direction. Don't hit the scenery coming in.
And the tragedy, that was the Mandalorian episode?
Yes, Mandalorian season 2.
Yes,
okay.
where Grogu is taken.
Yes.
Yeah, and the ship gets
the
bombed.
Razor Crest.
Razor Crest, yeah.
So you were up in the location in not Simi Valley, but right by Simi Valley, right in the
rocks.
Yeah, in that rock area for Mandalorian
tragedy.
For the tragedy.
Oh, I was. Oh, you mean that? No, I wasn't. The only part I was on was in the. Well, not. I can't say that.
Got it.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that was some really big stunts, because all the stormtroopers had to fall over rocks and.
Oh yeah. No, were they were mortar troopers?
Yeah, those mortar troopers.
So I actually, one of my jobs at the time was to test fit it to see how it looks and how it works and how it moves. So I put it on and they put the mortar on the back and it's like, it pulls you back. So then they said, okay, we have to go get it approved. So we walk into a stage and John and Dave Filoni are over there and that's where I had to walk to get it approved. And I could not stop singing the Imperial March in my head as I was walking up there. So actually, I did try that on, and it's just as uncomfortable as it looks.
Wow.
Yeah, we did a location scout video in that location, and just walking in sneakers was hard enough with shorts and a t-shirt. But I'm thinking in Stormtrooper armor, there's no way you're not gonna fall every time they yell action.
Yeah, I mean that happened a lot on Ahsoka, especially with the climbing the stairs.
Oh, I bet.
We were stepping on all kinds. We were a mess.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for all these stories, Warren. These are so great. And on July 29th, you are going to be signing at Scum Villainy in Hollywood.
I am.
Part
Come
of
on
the
and see me.
Of course.
Oh, we're going to be there. Yeah, this is part of the Virtual Cantina tour. And Spencer's been doing a great job putting all this together and getting everyone collected for these different stops they're going to do. Now, well, you've done autograph signings already. What do most fans want to talk to you about?
They usually just want to talk about what's it like being on set? What's it like being on the set of Star Wars? And sometimes you think you're really there.
Yeah.
Especially when you can only see this much. and then you see a bantha moving around, and you're like, that's a bantha. And there's some Tuscans, and I can only see sand. I must be there.
It just gets everywhere too. So,
nice.
Yeah, we'll definitely be there. And when our listeners also show up there, what can they say to you to let you know that they heard and watched this episode?
They say, you're the guy that hit his shoulder on the wall.
Not headbanger Harry. Gotta say, what?
Shoulder banging Warren.
Yeah.
Warren.
Yeah, wall banging Warren. I love it.
All right, Skywalkers,
Perfect.
there you go. If you want some extra little attention from Warren, just say you're the wall banging trooper.
That's the one.
Nice.
Well, thank you so very much for sharing this time, and we can't wait to meet you in a couple of months now.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. It's not too long now.
May the force be with you, and never bang your head on a wall or your shoulder on a door, because Robert Rodriguez will ask you to do it again.
May the force be with you always.
Well, that wraps up episode 461 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank Warren Proulx and Spencer Jawitz for putting us in touch with Warren. And we want to thank all you Skywalkers for jumping on these live streams when we give you no notice whatsoever. You still show up, and we appreciate that.
Yes. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on those notifications so that you will be able to jump on live.
Okay, but we're gonna whisper the rest because Courtney Turkel is still at work. And she doesn't want her boss to find out that she's watching Skywalking Through Neverland live on YouTube.
Here you go. I didn't comment until now. Shh. Still at work.
Okay, good. Like we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
Are you interested in Today in Star Wars History, Part 1 and 2, and the interactive notebooks?
Well, autographed copies of those books are available from skywalkingthrough.neverland.com/book, and they are autographed by us. When you do buy them online on the buy button on skywalkingthrough.neverland.com, there's an option to put in the little box like who you want to inscribe it to, basically. And so, yeah, we've had a number of people ask to give it to a friend or have one for them, one for a friend, things like that. So it's easy to do, and it's right there, skywalkingthrough.neverland.com/book.
Mm-hmm. Or you can meet us at Scum Villainy on July 29th.
Yes.
And have it autographed in person.
That too. Or in Houston.
Or Houston.
Comic Palooza.
Yeah. Weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, May 24th through the 26th.
Yes.
Very, very excited.
And if you're curious about where we're going to be, there is an event calendar tab on our website, skywalkingthroughneverland.com, which details where we're going to be. And I need to add a few dates because we've got a few dates going in there, including Walt's Barn. On Father's Day. Yeah. So we're going to be at Walt's Barn, which is in Griffith Park, on Father's Day, along with our last week's guest.
Yeah, Bambi Moe.
Yeah.
She's going to be signing books there, and we're going to be hosting a little Q&A with her.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited. But go to our Facebook page for the big events tab, and all of our stuff is right there. Or watch us on things we want to share. We go a little bit more in depth. All right. We're getting way... We're taking a tangent on here. Now, let's ask everyone if they want to support Skywalking Through Neverland in another way.
Yes, well, you can consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force. You can be a part of the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. And I know a number of you watching right now are already part of the Skywalking Force. We want to thank you so much for that. You guys have access to bonus content in the form of discussions on the latest Disney Plus shows. You also get a coupon code to use for our books. And this bonus content begins at really only $1 a month. But $5 a month is where you get some more extra bonus content. So head there, look at the options, and thank you to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force, including Meredith, who is coming in with a hey,
Meredith. All right, now we'd like to thank our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their continued support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park or a Disney cruise? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge, so check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you. All right, everyone, get ready. Get ready for this.
Get ready.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network.
Skynet.
Where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes, where our third episode of the month of April just went out today.
Ooh, exciting. Also, the Max Effects podcast.
The Neverland Clubhouse.
Totally Tell Me Everything.
Star Warsologies.
The YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History. All right, Courtney went there, Meredith went there with their Skynets.
Excellent. All right, Skywalkers, you can find us on social media. We are at Skywalking Pod for Twitter, for Instagram. If you were following our Instagram last week, you might have saw some really fun stories from the tram tour, the 60th tram tour. And I think they're gone now. I forgot to save them. Oh, my jaws. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know. I'm hoping I can get them back somehow. Does anyone know how to go back to Instagram stories if they've disappeared?
Why not? Oh,
let us know.
We'll talk about it later on.
Yeah. All right. You can also find us on Facebook, or you can email us, share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
All right. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember,
Neverland on Alderaan.
So why don't you do your clappy claps?
Clappy claps coming up. Hey, Skywalkers. Could you imagine what it would be like to be in a Star Wars show? Or 2, or 3, or 4? I'm not sure how much one could contain themselves. Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.